Hail dents, door dings, even baseballs. We've all seen them damage vehicle panels. But the question is, what is the proper repair method? If there is no damage to the vehicle's finish, paintless dent repair, or PDR, is a repair option. PDR is the removal of dents using specific tools and techniques. When doing PDR, there is no use of fillers or refinishing. With us today is David from Dentsmart.
Hi, John.
Hey, David. David, can you tell us what makes a dent a good candidate for PDR?
Sure, John. The most important thing would be the size, obviously, with depth, width, and also location in the panel as far as access. In the case of hail damage, it would be the count or saturation of the panel. Those are the issues that I face as I go to repair a car.
How do you repair a dent without damaging the finish?
Sure, John. One of the advantages that we have today is much more flexible metal. As we move this metal and to change the memory back to pre-accident conditions, certainly the flexibility helps. Second would be, because of the flexibility of the metal, these paints are more flexible today. It's almost like a marriage between rubber and paint. The most important tool that we use, obviously, is our eyes and very graphic lighting, which eliminate the dent so that we can see how well we're repairing it and when it's done. I've got a full tool set here. These are all specific to panels. We'll just say this would be more the brace type tools. These longer rods would be roofs, long quarter panels. Fender tools are right here. Usually pretty short panels, so I have different kinds of tools for the fenders. And then hard to access panels will utilize glue and also glue tabs to remove the dents. John, most importantly, I have the most important tool in my bag, and that is a light, so that we can illuminate the dent and see what's going on. Now, I've got a 3-prong light. Obviously, you can see that dent in the light. But I like the 3 lights. That way I can get more surface area to repair. Obviously, you can see this dent as well. So that's why I like the big graphic lights. Now, this first dent is in a brace. So pretty tight brace. I'm going to use a specific tool for braces. Enter from the bottom. Now, I'll do a couple of quick flexes, almost like a finger under a blanket, to see where I'm at. Once I start to see where I'm at, my goal is to center this dent, put a pressure point or a memory change right in the center of the dent. I want to make a more shallow version of itself. So as I bring this up, it's starting to get a little more shallow, even though it doesn't look like it's changing. We are changing the memory. We are making memory changes, just very slight. You have to be slow on the front end so that you can finish on the back end well. Accuracy is extremely important at this stage so that you can camouflage your repair into the natural texture of the paint is like an orange peel. I want to camouflage the work into that orange peel texture. As you can see, it's really starting to shape up. I've gotten it into a shallower version of itself, or a more shallow version of itself, and I'm just taking out any imperfections that I see in it. And one little tiny low spot right here, and maybe one right there. Even though that looks repaired, to me, I still see the tiny little bits left over, and that should just about pass any expert's opinion of a repair.
PDR worked really well for that dent. Now, what would be a dent you wouldn't consider for a PDR repair?
Sure, John. Obviously, the condition of the paint, we need that reflection. So if there's paint missing or chipped out of the middle, for example, that could be a hindrance to our repair. Could be that it's not a candidate for us to repair. The second thing, John, would be the size of the dent. And the general rule of thumb would be a credit card length. versus, say, the width. Once it's past that length, most of the time that is embedded or stretched metal, especially in the case of hail damage, and it would lessen its ability to repair in a paintless way. John, also, dents that are closer to the edge are tougher to repair than dents that are out here in the more flexible area of the panel. And one other thing to consider is the saturation or the count, especially for hail damage. If this panel, especially a bolt-on panel, were to have hundreds and hundreds of dents, it may be less expensive to just replace the panel versus having a PDR technician work on it.
The first repair we saw was in steel. Now, a lot of newer vehicles are made out of either higher strength steel or aluminum.
Correct, yeah.
What techniques do you use when approaching those materials?
John's really the same technique. There is a lot more exertion to repair aluminum versus steel and high-strength steel. The good news is it's better access, but it's 25 to 50% more exertion just to get these dents out of this panel.